everybody, it's Kat from Creative Crafts, and today's DIY is how can you make coasters or some kind of a gift. We're all at home, we have nothing to do. I suggest anyone who's out there who's bored or normally is always out there doing something, running around, working or whatever. Now that you're at home, you could always maybe try to do something to help you concentrate, relax. And this is one thing you can do besides yoga and meditation, is I'm actually recycling exactly what my page is all about. And I'm recycling old bath tiles. And as you can see, I have different methods here. This is actually from wrapping paper. This is actually a napkin. This is from an old book. This is paper sheets that we printed out with the musical symbols. And this is acrylic pouring. These are from the old tiled method. If you want to try the epoxy or resin, I have two here of forms that I made myself from silicone. The video is on my video section. Check that out, how to do that. This is another one. These are from actually the form that I bought. This is the green one. And I just finished making these ones here. And I need to paint them, but on the sides. But this is the pink one, pink and copper. So it's your choice on which way you want to do it. There's other methods too to make coasters. You can both make coasters out of rope if you want. That will be a, maybe I'll add on to that one to this here. A quick one. I didn't make one yet, but I have the rope that I could do it with. So let's go to the first step on making these coasters. So everybody, the first step is knowing exactly what you need for this project. The things that you need are either Elmer's glue, PVA glue, or Mosh Posh. The PVA glue and the Elmer's glue, I added just a tad water to it, as you can see here, so that it's not very thick. That's very important. You're going to need also your tile, these square tiles that are like this. And you're going to need a popsicle stick, your paintbrushes, and of course the choice of the napkin that you would want to have. That's very important, what kind of napkin you want. Or if you want to use an old book like I did with this one, that's what I did with that. I also have wrapping paper, old wrapping paper, which I used with this one here. And then this is, of course, is the napkin, which we're going to be doing right now. The same technique for any kind of substance that you want to put on top of here, as long as it's like a paper substance, you're going to do the same kind of technique with it. The same technique. Don't do anything different. Always do the same. I've been taking this part off, but I realized that it's actually not very thick, so the next step is cutting this stuff off. So the next step is, of course, getting and preparing everything. Cutting this and then cutting your napkins. Cutting this is not going to be hard. You just go to the sides. You go to each side and cut. So now you see these edges. What I suggest that you do is cut directly against the side and get all extra stuff off. That's really, I suggest that you do that. If it doesn't want to cut off, because you get the different scissors, or use an X-Acto knife. That also helps. So now you have your piece. The next step is the napkin. With this, which I'm so happy about, is I can make 4 coasters out of this one napkin, which I find great. So it's worth the money that you pay. You could say I paid 59 cents for these napkins, and I paid, you could say 50 cents or 25 cents for that block. And I believe in making your own gifts for people means a lot more than just buying them. Buying them is also good. If you don't have the time to do this, fine. If you have the time, which I'm sure everyone in the world right now has it, except for all the nurses and doctors and all the ones who are essential that needs to be staying outside and work, I thank you all that are sacrificed their time and their health so that we get all the amenities that we need. Amenities? I'm not sure exactly how they say that. So now I just peeled, as you noticed here, I just peeled the back of the napkin out. Sometimes they have 2 layers, sometimes only 1 layer. This one had 2 layers, but I was lucky enough to grab both layers and peel them right off. Try not to leave all the layers on, because that will make even more folds and cracks in the paper when you put it on the tile. I can't even speak today. So this is what it looks like, very thin. And make sure your tile is clean. I have a little face cloth that's a little bit damp, and you make sure that there's no dust or anything on it. Make sure it's clean. So, and then when you're done with that, put it aside, of course, and then now you're going to need your glue. So we'll go to the next step. So the next step is you take your glue, make sure you shake it, and I'm just going to take, if I can get the cover off, I'm just going to take a tiny bit in the middle. Maybe a dime size, you could say. And then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to mix this everywhere. Make sure you see that the glue goes everywhere. If you put too much glue, you're going to have even more cracks in between everything. I got a piece of that brush now here. So now that I got that on there like that, it's not much, like I said, and you stick it on to the way you want it. Make sure you pull the sides perfect, and there you go. How does mine get so shiny like this? No, this one doesn't have the second coat. This one has the second coat. See here, you can see all the lines. I decided to see what happens if I put more than one piece. I only took one of these layers off, and you can see all these lines here. I mean, it looks nice and antique, so it's still stable. Here it has a coating on it so that it's protected from any water. Like I said, gently, gently. If you see any kind of bubbles or anything, you take the bottom part, whatever part you see that is flat, and you just gently, not hard, gently go around this area. And this one seems to be coming out perfect. I don't know if you can notice it. There is absolutely almost no, cracks or folds in it. So this is how you want to do it. So this is how you want to do this. Make sure that it's flat. And the next step is you're going to take your scissors and just cut the corners off. Maybe I should use the smaller scissors. Do I have small? Get some smaller scissors and, like I said, cut, if you can, this corner off. If you don't cut the corner off, what's going to happen, you're going to get a really build-up fold there, and you don't want, you get a build-up fold on this side. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as that you see, when you fold it like this, it goes in together. It's not like when you fold it here together, you're going to see what happens. You see you have this little fold here, and you don't want that. So to avoid that fold, you're going to need to cut just a tad of this part off. And then you won't get this fold, as you can see here. You see, you may have some paper here, but once it's wet and you can tap it down. So I'm going to do all this to all 4 sides. And then make sure I get all of it. Make sure you don't cut too much off, because then when you want to do this side here, you're going to notice this side and you don't want that. You want to make sure that's also covered. So now that I got that done, this came out really well. I'm really happy about it. And you don't really, like I said before, you don't need that much glue on it. So now the next step is I'm going to I'm going to put this aside because I don't want that to rub against that other piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something or a cover or something flat that I can use where I can put some of the glue on. And you don't have to always get something. Here, like this. I'm going to take the spoon and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in that spoon area. You can see I've used it before. Again, my thing sticks. And you're going to put like maybe a quarter of a, well, a little bit more than a quarter maybe. Okay, so now the next step is doing the sides. What I'm going to do is going to fold that over. Sorry guys, I just had a sneezing attack. I have allergies and the weather is really beautiful out today. So there we go. And then when you're done with that, you take it and fold it over. Fold it over. And rub very, very gently, because this is a little bit more glue than it's supposed to be. So what you want to do is now, is once that is wet, hopefully this works, it should be able to rip off very gently. Try not to rip any of that top side part off, and put that aside. And then what I do is I try to wipe off any excess glue and try to make sure everything is flat like this, as you can see here. Then you do the other side, and then do all 4 sides the same way, and then we'll go to the next step. So everybody, I decided that I wanted to leave the ends on there on the inside here, because when I was trying to rip it off, what happened here, I was trying to rip it off and some of it from the top part here came off. It's easy to rip off, yes, but if you rip too much off, what happens is, stick to me. I ripped some of it off here. So what I wanted to do is just try to rip some of it off slightly after I put so much of that paper on, and you can always use the brush in areas that you know you already rip it off. If it gets stuck there, fine, leave it there, it's okay. But I'm done here. A little tip, when handling these things, make sure that your finger has no glue on it when you're grabbing this end here, because you're going to have a problem. So now the next step is you want to put, let's try it. Next time I'll just try not to put too much glue like the top, go very gently on it. So now I got all the sides done, and now the next part is doing the top. The top is, make sure you use a brush that's not hard like this one. This one is pretty hard, look. You know, I would suggest to use something more soft. So what you're going to do is take your glue, and this time you're going to put like a size of a quarter, or maybe a little bit less. You don't need so much, like this. And you put that on top, and you try to go as fast as possible, because once this dries up or bakes the paper underneath, you're going to have a problem. If you're having troubles and your brush is a little bit thicker, I would suggest you get a little bit more glue on it and gently back and forth. Try to stay in the same method. Looks like my thing had stuff on it, but it didn't. It shouldn't have. Try not to put any pressure on it. Go very lightly. Do the sides. Make sure it's really good amount on it. I said quarter size, but I think it's better that you just let it go over. So make sure you do the sides. Even if it drips, it's fine. You want it to protect the sides, so I would suggest that you do that. Make sure you have enough. Like I said, go very gently over the whole thing. Do not let anything go too hard against the paper now, because it's still wet from the glue that you went on it before, and now you're adding more wetness to it, and that could rip it if you go really hard on the brush, you know, on it. And then when you're done, make sure you always have your little cup of water and stick your brushes in it to protect it from getting too hard, and clean up your little mess that's around. Very important to do that. And now we just wait for this to harden. I mean, it looked perfect before, but right now it looks like there's a lot of wrinkles in it. Maybe it's just because it got wet and it went like this. Maybe it'll flatten back out once it's dried. Make sure you clean up your glue mess everywhere so there isn't one anywhere. But this is one way of actually doing it. So the other way I did it's like I showed you before, is I used a book and I did the same method as I just showed you here. I did the same thing. But with this one here, I took the pictures from the books that I had, and then I put it over, and then I did this. So you know, not every coaster from these ones will always be different. So as you can see here. And then the last one is just from the page. And then what I did is I decided to paint it black on one side, so it'll be like a little bit of a set. I'm not sure if I should have done it all black. If you think I should have done it all black, please comment on the comment section below. I would love to hear that. Then I used some old normal printing paper, and we had these notes. I was going to do a project. I had a huge thing of it, a whole bunch of it still, and I decided, okay, let me see what this is going to look like. And this came out great, I think. But on this one, I painted the sides gold. Maybe I should have painted it black. I'm not sure. Like I said, comment below and let me know what you think. And then I also then said, okay, I had this beautiful wrapping paper, fancy wrapping paper, and I decided to use some of this. I still have some, so I can make several coasters of this. And what's so good about it is that these kind of things don't always, not everyone has them, so it'll be a unique gift that you can give to people. And you can buy this coaster bottom on Amazon, very cheap. That's what I did, and it's thin. You can buy thicker ones. I bought a thicker set from a place called Teddy here, if you ever want to go check it out. I mean, right now they're all closed. I already had everything I needed. And like I said, with the napkin, what we just did here, you can see that it has a ripple effect on it. But it's still good. It still looks good, I think. So, and I did the same, you know, like I said here, I ripped it too early, and look. See what happens? And that's not what you want. You want it to look like this. I think this was probably one of my first ones I've done. And then I used a different napkin, which I got from the shops. It was the Easter napkin, which I did here. I didn't like it too much. I mean, it's nice. I could fix it up and give it to a friend. I tried to do acrylic pouring, but I used the acrylic pouring here. It didn't come out perfect, but once I sand this all down and make it flat and then polish it and then put a nice even flat spray coat of varnish on top, this set will look awesome. And then I will put the bottom on. Right now I didn't do anything because the acrylic pouring one I didn't work out as well as I thought it would. The ones that worked out the best is the ones with the books, the old books and the pictures. That came out the best. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Like I said, you cover that with the top coat of like you see on this one here. You cover it with the Mosh Posh, and then it will have a beautiful, nice little shine to it, and that's what you want anyway. But what I'm going to do to make it the ones that I want to sell, I'm going to spray it with a waterproof varnish, and when you have a glass that sweats, it's not going to ruin it. With these ones, except for the one with the epoxy, with paper on it and the Mosh Posh, of course, when the glass is sweaty and it has ice in it, what's going to happen is the Mosh Posh is going to come loose. Glue always comes loose when it's wet. So what you're going to do is make sure, if you want to give it as a gift, fine, it's wonderful, you can leave it the way it is. But if you want to sell it, or if you want to go to that next level, I would suggest to spray, you know, a clear waterproof varnish on top of it. Make sure you do it outside in the ventilated area. Same thing goes with this epoxy stuff. If you want to use this, make sure you're in a ventilated area, because it's very toxic. I've recently found out, hopefully it's not that, but I think it is. I'm allergic to the resin and epoxy. Every time I use it, I somehow end up breaking out on the arms and also around my lips, and I don't know why, because I use gloves and I'm not touching it, so with my lips. Anyway, I always end up breaking out somehow, or maybe I'm allergic to nuts because I'm doing this low-carb diet and I'm eating a lot of nuts. That part of it could do something with me, but that's a different thing. But right now, like I said, everyone at home, I hope you stay healthy. Stay home if you can. If you need to go out, just go out and get the essentials, or if it's for a doctor appointment, please try to avoid contact with other people. The more people do this, the less that this thing is going to spread. Some people think it's horrible, and then they're scared to death to go out, and some people say, it's nothing, it's like the flu. Everybody has their own opinion, but the only way, just like with any kind of illness, flu or whatever it is, if you stay home and leave it at home and take care of yourself, and you don't spread it along, it will not spread any further. It will die off. So please stay home, be safe, be creative, and write your comments below, please. Please, please, please. And thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Hi, everybody. It's me. This cork is a little bit thicker than the other one from just the video that you just saw at the end. This is just a little tip. What you could do is you can, I have to check my video, make a form with your cookie cutter or whatever cutter it is, and check out, make sure you grab the right circle that you circle, because I have 2 circles here. But the one that I need is this one right here, so I'm just going to follow this. Did I just do that wrong? No, I didn't. I'm going to go around. If you want it bigger, you can make it bigger if you want. That's fine. Somehow that doesn't look like a real circle. Did I do something wrong here? Maybe I should go here. Ah, it's somewhat round. Yes. So when you're done with that, make sure you have a hot glue gun and turn it on. Very important. You need your hot glue gun. You can either use a thicker rope if you wanted to have a little bit thicker, or of course I have my piece over there, or a thinner rope. This is more, what do you call this, jupe. You can use the jupe if you want. Your choice. I think I'm going to use the jupe because I really don't want it so thick. I mean, I don't know, maybe. Let's do this and see what happens. You know? I mean, it won't look so bad, I don't think. But I'd rather have the jupe. The jupe is thinner. So, of course, wait till your glue gun is hot. Make sure you have enough jupe rope to work with. And I would probably start from the sides here and then work my way up to the top so that it'll be protected, I guess. It all depends on how you want to do it. So I'm just gonna go like that. So everybody, I finished the one with the cork, not cork, with the jupe. Looks cool, I think. And then, I mean, you can add maybe some other things to it, or, you know, put more rope on top of this. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Now I cut a little bit bigger piece out, and I'm going to work with this big one here, the big rope. And what I did is I put glue on the end so it doesn't split the rope area, and now I'm going to glue all this around. And I'm going to do this one a little bit more slower because I do not want to have, with this one I was having a hard time, not a hard time, it's just that it was so small. The glue was sticking, as you can see, all over my hand and all over my nails. So this is just, like I said, if you want to do it like this, you can. I think it looks cool. You can still see a little bit of the glue here, but what you could do is if you do it slowly and tiny little bit of glue at a time. I was trying to do it a little bit faster. Like I said, you do things too quick, it's a sloppy job. Usually that's how it is. If you take your time on doing something, it's going to look excellent. So like I said, this will also look great if you did that on your own. It's a different method. This is just something that you can do at home as a hobby. Make some of these coasters for maybe some decorations. You can make a bigger one, you know, or a square one for Easter decoration. So now let's go to the gluing part here again, and we'll go around with this one. And there you go. You have your rope coaster. It works perfect. There you go. So this is 2 different kind of coasters you can make from rope. This is just a cute little quick tip what you could do. You can use anything you want. You can use a bungee rope if you have one of those stretchy ropes with colors. I have one that's yellow somewhere. I don't know exactly where I put it, but you can use that too. I think it looks great. Like I said, if you want, you can add something else here on the side. You know, different. I could take some of this rope if I want and do some extra decorating to it and add this to it to the side. If you want, you can do that too. That would look great. If you want, these are all kinds of cute little things you can do. Look around what you have at home. Stuff that you could use at home and recycle. Like I said, recycle, recycle, recycle. If you have kids at home, like I said before, you can make that old folks dough. I have tons of videos in my video list you can check out for recycling, and they're also non-toxic and safe for children. So I would ask you, go check out my videos, please. And yeah, I hope you like my little quick tip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.